Well, good morning, all. Today our mission is to see what's inside those 4 pieces of conglomerate that's been sitting on the table for months. And let's get started taking a look at the new gold room. Okay, conglomerate first. Okay, here we got our 4 pieces of conglomerate. This one, just the color's wrong. I don't think there's going to be anything in it. These 2 here look good to me, but not sure if there's anything in it. This is the one here that the detector sounds off on. Now, all 4 of these, the SDC did not read them. Now, I've gone over all these pieces with the metal detectors. None of them read on the Minelab 2300. The Goldmaster, my Goldmaster 3, read on all of them, but only one of them had a distinct target. The other 3, I think, is mineralization. And I've gone over them with the Gold Monster 2000, and it also agrees that there's definitely a target in that one, and it picked up nothing in the other 3. So we're going to head out, we're going to bust them up, we're going to keep them separate, pan them out, see which one's got gold, which one doesn't. We're pretty sure the one in the middle has gold. It's small, it's not much, but 2 of the metal detectors, 2 out of 3 says there's gold in there. All right, what do you say we get to work? Okay, well, I got them all busted up, got them in separate pans, and got them laid out here. The first one here, this is the one that's got the target. This is the good one. These 2, I thought, look good. Then over here, we have the one that, no good, doesn't look good. Okay, well, I'm gonna take all these over, pan them out. I'll be right back with the results. Got them all panned out. Now's the time to put in your guess. I have 2 pans with nothing, 2 pans with gold. All right, let me show you which one's which. First pan here is our no good, and it was no good. This one that looked good, no good. Now this one is one that looked good. And you can see in here we got several pieces you can actually see, and then there's a whole bunch of really, really fine stuff. And here is our pan that the detector said had gold. And that is a small piece of gold, but it definitely is a piece of gold. Well, I'm pretty sure that's not going to weigh, but we're going to take it in, see if it does. All right, let's head in. Okay. Nope, not going to give us anything. Let's see if we can cheat a little bit. Nope, still not going to weigh. Well, we didn't get any weight, but we got some gold. And I'm kind of impressed. The old Goldmaster 3, you're talking, I don't know, 25-year-old technology, 30-year-old technology, and it's picked that piece of gold up. That's not bad. Okay, let's talk gold room. Now, I finished the room probably 3-4 months ago, or mostly finished. I still got some stuff to do, but what I've been doing is over the last 60 years of doing this, I've accumulated a lot of stuff. And some of it I had in display up in my shop uptown, but since I closed it, I've boxed everything up, and I've had boxes up in the attic, I've got boxes in the closet. And what I've been doing is I pull a box out, go through it, and things that are in there that I've found that the memories I really enjoy or really interest me, I've been putting on the shelves here in the gold room. And what doesn't go on the shelf goes back in the box, and I've been donating that stuff to the museums. Now, as I go through a box, I may replace stuff I already have out. It's just what interests me is what's going in the room here. And so it's going to change as I go through the boxes. So what do you say we pick a shelf or two each time we do this, and I'll explain to you what it is, how I found it, the story behind it, and why it interests me. All right, let's take a look. Well, we don't got to go far. This shelf is not going to change. This here, these books, let's talk about these books. Okay, let's get this. Well, let's talk about this first. This mortar pedestal I found in a hydraulic, or at least a bowl, I found in a hydraulic pit up on the Middle Fork of the Yuba River, in the late 70s. Be honest with you, I can't remember where I got this, but they weren't found together. Okay, the books. This set of books here was given to me by my father years ago. Okay, the first thing is this 4-volume set of Battles and Leaders of the Civil War. Now, this was printed in 1887. Now, the artwork in here just, I think, is unbelievable. Now, this next set is also on the Civil War, and this is the American Conflict and History of the Great Rebellion, and 1860 to 1864. Now, this book was printed in 1865. This is a 2-volume set. Now, the last 2 books are on the American Revolution. Now, this first one here was written in 1876. And the second book is also on the American Revolution. And this one was written in 1888. Now, I am a history junkie. And the reason I love these books, there's several reasons. Number one is these are written, like the first set, the 2-book set on the Civil War was written in 1865. This is not secondhand knowledge in this book. This is, people were there. It's not somebody else's interpretation of what happened. In the history books we get now, it's people have read these books and wrote books, and then people have read those books and now are writing books. So I really like the history that comes from, as close to the time as you can get. Then the other reason these books are so valuable to me is, they were given to me by my father, and they came from Missouri. My great-grandmother came over from Ireland, and she had, I think it was 6 or 7 kids, and the husband never made it. He ended up in Australia. A long story there. Maybe we'll cover that someday. But they homesteaded 80 acres in Missouri in 1848. And we're still farming that ground in Missouri to this day. My cousins are farming it. And my dad was born and raised there, and this book came from this old house. It was the original house on the farm. The old guy in the picture, that's my great-uncle Johnny. Interesting side note. In, I think it was the teens, 1914, 1911, somewhere around there. There was too many people in Missouri, so he left. He went to North Dakota, and he was there for a few years, and there was too many people in North Dakota, so he went up to Canada. And he homesteaded a ranch up in Canada and lived there out in the middle of nowhere till he died. Okay, what do you say we grab one more shelf and then we'll call it a day. Here we have a set of books on the generals of the Civil War. These were written in 1888. And here we have an interesting book. This book is on the adventures and achievements of Americans, written in 1859. Now here we have the beginning of the books on mining. Actually, here's an old California Mining Journal from 1958. But the book I wanted to show you right here, this book is one of the best books you can come across for mining, or at least in California. Okay, this book is The Tertiary Gravels of the Sierra Nevadas, California. It was written in 1911. This is the first edition. This book has all the maps and all the, I got notes all through it, but all the plates and maps and everything in it. Now, that book, you can read that book online now. It used to be really hard to find those books, but you can get it online now, and basically it goes, instead of chapters, each chapter is a different quadrangle. And if you want to know where the gold is in California, that book is a good place to start with. Okay, well that's pretty much all I got on this one. Now, if you guys enjoy this, let me know. I don't want to bore you. I realize that this stuff really interests me, but it may not interest you. So if you want me to continue doing this every now and then, throw a video in where I cover another shelf, let me know in the comments below. And you're not going to hurt my feelings. If you don't want to hear it, let me know that too. That's pretty much all I got. So I'm out of here. You guys have a wonderful day, and we'll see you in the next video.